Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are in the, where are we?
In zoo.
We're at the zoo. Where?
In Novosibirsk.
All right, so we're gonna take a look inside, show you some things that the Novosibirsk zoo has. Let's go. All right, we've got our tickets. The price was how much, Senya?
500 rubles.
All right, 500 rubles, and now we're going into the entrance. Let's go. We've made it inside. Yes, they are doing some repairs on that road, but guys, we were told that it would take more than a day to see what all is here. The weather is not great, but for us, this is normal. At the entrance, they have the Dino Park, which is basically the Jurassic Park logo. And Senya wants to go inside, but I told her we'll go after because I want to see real life animals, right? So we're going to surpass the Dino Park and we're going straight to the real thing. Look at Senya. I guess she grew up maybe liking dinosaurs. It's really funny. Let's go, Senya. Say bye to your friends. We're going for the real stuff. Everywhere in the park, you're going to be able to see these wooden sticks here that tell you where the food is, where the attractions are, what kind of animals are here. The animals are not written in English, but you can see the silhouette of the animal. What is written in English is the street. So this is the main alley, and this is the winter pavilion, which I'm guessing there's going to be like winter animals perhaps on this side. So that's what we're going to be using to guide us through the park. Can you imagine having to eat with that big beak on, just like the toucan? Look at the size of this guy. Oh, he's scratching himself. So cute. He's smiling. I've never seen him. This looks like he's smiling. Oh, but he's not happy, surely. He's finished with his food. Have you ever seen an animal with such thin legs? How do they walk on those little sticks? Wow. I've seen a small pony, but I've never seen a pony baby. These look like miniatures. I mean, the white baby pony over there looks Senya size. That's what she'll be riding. Little ponies. Look at the little pony. That's funny. We're out here in front of the reindeer. We're making our way to see the big cats. I want to see, it is said that this zoo has every big cat in the world, and we will probably not be able to see them. Maybe one or two, maybe we'll be missing, because I've noticed that a lot of the zoo is actually being redone right now. As the spring is coming in hotter and warmer and summer is coming, I guess they're doing reparations. But we're enjoying seeing the birds and the llamas and all the small stuff first, and we're just continuing on through the zoo, seeing what we can find. What's the one thing you want to see?
White bear.
A white bear. She's talking about a polar bear.
Penguin.
She wants to see penguins and polar bears, which of course don't actually inhabit the same plot of land. Polar bears are of course in the northern Arctic, and penguins are in the southern Antarctica. This old guy is eating, but look at the size of his horns, man. No, come back. Oh, it's like he knows. There's a baby mountain goat. So cute. Now, I'm not sure, but I believe that these guys get hunted by grizzlies in the American continent. These guys are brutes. So weird to be seeing him out here in Novosibirsk just chilling. Look at his friend in the corner. Really cool goats. behind me are the enclosures of 2 jaguars and a clouded leopard. Now, these animals are not in the cages. I think that they're inside. So if you're going to come visit the Novosibirsk Zoo, or any zoo for that matter, try to come to the zoo when the weather is more favorable, hotter, warmer, because right now about maybe 75% of all the animals that we go visit are actually inside or sleeping. An interesting fact is that I did see a jaguar in the wild when I lived in Mexico, so I'm not really missing out on the jaguar, but I have never seen a black panther, as they call them, which is a jaguar, a leopard, or any large cat that has a dark coat on it. How you feel, Senya?
I'm very sad. I love cats. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Now it's empty. I go cry.
Yeah, guys, you know, obviously I'm not mad about it because I know that the animals are cold and everything is fine. And I also know that we came in a day where the weather is not so well, and perhaps it's only 8 or 10 degrees. So we're just going to keep walking and seeing what we can find. But like I said, about 75% of all the animals are either sleeping and you can't see them, or they're in their cages. Most of the in their cages inside the building, behind the cages, sorry. And the animals that are outside are animals that are accustomed to being in cold weather. So we will see what's outside later. There's been a lot of babies and mamas. I am so conflicted. Half of the time I want to see animals, and the other half of the time, you know, I feel so depressed because I don't actually like seeing animals in cages. And today may be the worst day to come visit the zoo. And today may be, you know, my experience may be the worst zoo experience of all time. I'm feeling so bad, guys. We're walking around, and like I told you, every cage is empty. There seems to be more wildlife outside, obviously, with all the different birds and the squirrels and stuff like this. But now I feel like I don't want to see the zoo. Now I feel like I want to leave. But then another part of me wants to go see like a lion, but the lion's probably not going to be there. Now, I'm not complaining. I don't want to make this a sad story, but it is a tragic story about a visit to the zoo, and you start questioning yourself. And just as I say that, we get to see a first cat. Now, the cheetah is not considered a large cat because he does not have the ability to roar. But it is our first actual large animal besides the bear, which those are very common in Siberia. I'm not trying to talk those bears down, but this is awesome. In America, if we were in an American zoo, I would record these guys and say, here's a rare animal. It's a working American. This is a Russian tundra wolf. He lives or inhabits northern Russia in the frozen tundras. But this one's just eating right now at the zoo. These ducks have lived so long near the zoo that they want to be put in cages and fed. They're very smart. They're so friendly. But we're here for the ones in the cages, unfortunately, which I'm still having issues with that, to think about that. Let's see if they have any polar bears. The paws on this guy, they are massive. Can you imagine? There's actual people who think they can fight grizzlies, but these guys are bigger than grizzlies. There's no way, no chance in hell. Here we have 2 baby polar bear cubs. One of them was trying to feed and the mom just wasn't having it. But they are having a great time, not that the sun has come out. It's strange seeing baby polar bears because they look like dog-sized animals, but you know they can turn into that. The saddest enclosement has to be the one where the polar bears are because they are amongst the biggest animals we saw, but they had the smallest area to walk. The female was walking back and forth, just pacing back and forth, and you have to imagine that the cubs were going to be raised in the same environment. Now, I'm not anti-zoos, this is just how I felt. We're going to see how big Senya is compared to a polar bear. She says she's like a baby, and you know what? It's actually true. She's probably the height of the baby one. I'm not much taller than her, so let's see how tall I am.
And now look at him. Little bigger than me, but not so much.
How big is he?
Almost the same like me.
Yeah. Shorty. This is one wild animal that people say I'm going to see all over Russia, but I've already lived here more than a year and I haven't found the wild tick. And I hope I don't end up finding one because I've heard very bad stories about them. But let's keep going, and I like that they have signs for this everywhere. These are, of course, wild pigeons coming up to the top. They eat all the food from the zoo animals. This is the most animals you'll see in Novosibirsk Zoo. If it's cold, you're going to see nothing but pigeons and wild ducks. Look how this guy walks. Walks just like us. There's one thing I really, really love to see, and it is shuka art. Look at that. That's amazing. That's a northern pike. It's my favorite fish. Absolutely beautiful. Wow. These are animals, of course, that live out here in Russian wilderness. That looks like some sort of mink. No, that's not a mink. Some ferret style thing, but that's a shuka, and it's awesome. I'm so excited. We came into a place called the Night World, and there seems to be an aquarium. There seems to be aquariums here, so I'm hoping that they have shuka here. I hope they have pike. I normally see them out in my lake, but I would just like to see them up close and admire them. If there isn't pike, there isn't shuka, I'm going to be very sad. We're just going to walk around and look at all the different aquariums. Look, this is obviously not a pike, but there seems to be bigger aquariums over there. Let's go. All sorts of fish out here, but I'm looking for the northern pike. Look at that, that's a strange looking fish there. Let's keep looking for the northern pike. Unfortunately, there were no northern pike. These were all tropical fish that were in this aquarium. There was also saltwater fish and anemones and sponges and all sorts of saltwater Nemos and Doras or whatever they're called. Dory's Dora, I've never seen the movie. But yeah, no wild pike, which would have been better because the pike is the most beautiful fish in the world. But here are some Oscar fish, some convicts, maybe convict fish, different types of cichlids. I don't know much about fish. This is an eel. Look at this guy. But overall, no northern pike. Very sad. If you want to become eel man, you have to take a bite from this guy. Not me, man. Here's some bats. We have these bats in Sludanka. When I go fishing, these guys are flying everywhere. Really cool. Look how cool they are. They just fly so funny. Look at these little guys. These little fellas got big ears. It seems that they maybe hunt things underground. It's eating what appears to be a baby chick, like a chicken. Yeah, that's a baby chicken. Is this okay for YouTube? Well, we're gonna see a baby, no, not a baby, but a fox chew on a chick. Here's a lioness. She's perhaps smaller than the tigers for sure, but she's still massive. It's beautiful. A good example of what I'm talking about when we're walking and seeing all these empty cages, we're just gonna walk here. All these things are supposed to have animals, but I'm telling you, it's about 50% of the enclosures have no animals, and like 75% of those that do have animals, the animals are hidden or cold. So if you're going to come visit the zoo in Novosibirsk, I'm told that in winter it's okay. I don't know how they do it because it's cold, it's freezing. But I mean, if you're going to come in a very sunny day, which is normal. Obviously, we didn't choose to come this day because anything in particular. We were only here for 2 days, and this is just the day we decided to come to the zoo. It is maybe the worst day to come to the zoo ever in the history of man. What you do get to see a lot of are birds, and these guys are massive. This is a stellar sea eagle. The claws on this guy are ridiculous. You can't see them. Sorry for the focus. I mean, massive bird. Can you imagine being an animal that can fly but being in a cage? Visiting a zoo is basically watching every animal that's supposed to be not in a cage, and it makes you contradict your feelings a lot. This just adds to the sadness. I want to see the animals, but then again, I don't want to see them because then I feel bad. It's almost like a paradox. I'm trying to give you guys a good view on freedom. This is an American bald eagle. They of course inhabit Canada and the United States, but they got freedom in a cage out here, and they don't look so healthy because their beaks can be a lot more orange. But anyways, they got freedom locked up. Flamingos. You know, something I've noticed about this zoo is that it's very hard to actually, if you want to record, it's not really friendly, or even to see the animals. Everything is like got triple fences, and the gates are very small to be able to see through them. That's just one observation that I've made. You're better off catching a pigeon and touching a pigeon or a wild duck out here. Yesenia looking at a duck. You know, if you do like monkeys though, they do have a place where you can come inside and watch the monkeys inside in a nice warm place. There's a monkey, and then they have an armadillo that's just doing circles on the floor. They got the white little hairy monkeys separated from the black little monkeys. Look at him, look at him. Oh, what a funny face. So beautiful hair. Wild, crazy monkeys. This guy looks like he's just getting a taste and spitting it right out. Not a bad idea. He's getting whatever he likes and just spitting it out. Cool guy. You know, this is probably the happiest animal I've seen. They get to enjoy being inside and not so cold. And they get free food. So it's not a bad job for these penguins. Oh, the penguins are awesome. They're just having fun. Like I said, they must have the coolest job at the zoo. The water is not as cold as their natural habitat, and they get free food. So, really cool. On the second level where the penguins and the primates are, there's a wilderness basically that the animals walk freely. And we're out here. Senya's just looking at all the little monkeys that are in the bushes. There's some up there. There's a waterfall. It seems to be more like open nature for them. Really, really cool. We came down to the below the primates where the penguins were, and they have bigger aquariums where they have sturgeons and all sorts of other fishes. And we're actually on the lookout for my favorite fish, which is the shuka. And this is a giant, like a catfish, I guess. Look at the size of this guy. That looks like a pacu. This is a Nile crocodile. Of course, I think that the Nile crocodiles are perhaps some of the bigger species in the world. Here we have, looks like a Burmese python just because of the color and the size of it. Oh yes, it is a Burmese. Look at that. These guys are massive. It seems that the food that they give these animals, the ones that are carnivores at least, and that they're small to medium size, they eat baby chicks. Not a bad type of food, I guess, because it's still basically them devouring something and getting in their intake. Really cool. I was telling Senya that this is just me and her. Just a crocodile and a turtle on her back. Here's another job that's not so bad. Being a turtle at a zoo, especially this species of turtle. They just pile up and get free food. Even you have a turtle on top of a turtle. I'm very sad because this is the last place where we might have found shuka. But what we have are like koi fish and catfish like these. And yeah, Senya's gonna show you the terrarium. It looks like we're on our way out, but right before we come out, I want to show you what the entrance looks like, which will give you basically an idea of why today was the worst day to come visit the zoo. A lot of the reasons why the animals were not in their cages is because they were painting them, fixing them. There was a small clip of Russian guys building a new basically cage for monkeys. Now behind me, they're fixing the entire road. It's very common in Russia. After winter ends, they fix roads, they fix buildings, and the zoo is not an exception. They are fixing a lot of things, and it just happens to be the day where we come visit the zoo. I'm positive that if you give the zoo maybe 2 or 3 more weeks, they're gonna have everything fixed. The weather will be a lot warmer and everything's gonna be a lot nicer. And with that being said, thank you so much for joining us on this small video of the Novosibirsk Zoo. Although I felt a little bit conflicted with myself, and I did enjoy some things and I didn't enjoy some other things. If you like seeing animals, do plan accordingly and come during a warm day. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.